We're here. Sometimes 5:50 p.m. is good morning, but for you guys, it probably is considering where we are on the stream. We're going to be taking the Taiko Temple here, game number one, Fight or Flight Prize Fighter start, the single prize fighter opted in by Beelzebub here. I'm joined by Bug again, Koyo's coach here to cast the second game from him. And last time he coached him, Koyo didn't win. And I'm hoping that the team has made some improvements in the meantime. How do you feel like this team has, well, progressed in the last couple of weeks? Do you think that they'll be able to come out swinging in the series?
Well, 2 weeks ago they didn't win, but the week I didn't cast them, they did. So maybe I'm cursing them here. But I think obviously that first point wasn't a great start. I think they have made pretty good progress. I am expecting this to be a tight fought series. I think these are both teams that are in that same skill level ballpark. So I don't think they're going to get this one easy, but I think they're going to work for it, and I think they're going to get it.
And going into it as well, let's talk about this Awakening star. A bit polarizing here. I think the Fight or Flight going to be opted into by both forwards, but the one prize fighter pickup by Beelzebub, which might actually be like a long-term deny. Like, it's not particularly great in Naka, even though Fight or Flight isn't particularly useful as well. So just kind of taking it to make sure that the X or the IME does not get it later is a completely acceptable pick in my choice. What are your thoughts?
No, I agree. I mean, Mako doesn't care too much about it unless she's dribbling a lot, and I think, especially with the changes to Mako secondary, she's a lot more stationary than a lot of other goalies in the game. And Juliet's gonna end up taking a lot of these strikes for her. So the prize fighter makes a lot of sense. She also does a lot of damage. So I wouldn't be surprised if she actually starts stacking these prize fighters.
Yeah, especially with the kill confirm on the Mako special, but these are really good clears actually coming out. A very strong start, I think, from Beelzebub, but only so much you could do against an overtime Tougher Fortress. The core gets ricocheted around a little bit now. Honker essentially trying to get it in, not going to be able to, though. The bull rush just a little bit too slow is now Daru in the midfield looking to get some brawler assistance in, has a flip to work with, but Ripstick a lot of space to work with right now. Flip does come through, but now it's up to Beelzebub to hold, who uses his flip, but not the clear that you want there. An unfortunate pixel clear gets the bounce up and instead of into the corner, and second point goes away for it.
Yeah, unfortunately, just misses that drum. You get that drum, you put your ball in a really nice spot to score, but it's like the smallest of mistakes can lead to the most catastrophic results. There's unfortunately, and looking really good for FURT as they get the double barrier right away. This time they don't have to wait until overtime to get it, and probably gonna be a faster point because of it. But we'll see. Points not over yet.
Yeah, I think something that's a little curious here actually is going to be the scaling this game. Now is a character that really, really likes speed, really, really likes that on the secondary, and that's not something that can be really easily denied by anyone. Potentially the Super Surge by X or IME. But things like the aerials, right? This is going to be an awkward deny for anyone, especially if the Dubu gets MVP, which I don't think he is going to be at this point. But on the other side, you also have an X as well, who's just kind of known from Monster of Scaling. And yeah, there's the aerials there. I'm not quite sure who's going to deny it here, but with Super Surge and aerials here, I'm wondering if Blue Team kind of got off pretty easy this draft.
Yeah, I mean, I think that at least X can deny, but I don't think he will. I think he's going to take the might, most likely here. Yeah, there it is. And now they're going to have, both options. But the one upside is that means that two of I believe three dash extension awakenings are gone. So while you're guaranteed to get one, even on the draft if you lose, you'll think about it from that perspective of you're probably not getting another one, or if you are, only one of your two will get it.
Yeah, just the explosive entrance left, and I think Aimi, especially Angle Senpai, is going to be looking to get that pretty quickly. Not only does it deny the double dash awakening, which can be basically a game ender in draft, it's also going to be incredibly good for that dash range, especially with a drive. And right now, Angle Senpai is going to need the score goals, has to guarantee himself the MVP, which they are there. I mean, they are on their way to do that already. A very strong start coming out of Honker and Senpai, getting on this as well. It's going to be seems to be a very strong start here from FURT.
Yeah, I mean, I think that all of the defense has just collapsed so far for you. They're just not able to hold. They're losing barriers because of silly strikes that really shouldn't be happening. But they also handle really good from for capitalize on these clear blunders from you.
Yeah, and even here in the North American Strikers training grounds, right? Teams are good enough at the game nowadays where sloppy play will immediately get capitalized on. Good glitch pop here from Angle Senpai, but not going to be able to find any pressure. Ripstick not going to lose his second barrier. Pull comes out, warrants the flip here from Angle Senpai. Good possession of the core here, stolen, as it buys Ripstick a lot of time to allow the Conqueror to come up here on the defense. Now going to be the FURT's opportunity to defend again. Beelzebub now sends the core up. A nice bounce off the Taiko drum from Julak, though. It's going to be the first point for COYO this series.
Yeah, something if you haven't noticed, a lot of these melee goalies are now taking the momentum boots, and one of the downsides of the momentum boots is you don't have the range to actually get those really fast ones anymore. You're gonna just have to guess and position the right spot. Ripstick just guessing wrong and gets punished for it there.
Mm-hmm. So we gotta go on to this third point. Like to kind of I've been doing this thing where I realize that I can't just go like full play by play the full time is an unfortunate clear. I think going for a story angle, but didn't have like the follow up there. I need to start asking co-casters about their day. How was your day?
My day. Honestly, a win here would make my day great, but a loss here would make my day terrible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would say it's an overall good day since it can't be ruined by a loss here, but a win here would make it great if you ask me.
Yeah, that's so true. You know what, COYO? A slow start, but a start nonetheless. And unfortunately, what is a bit of a non-starter right now is Julak here in the midfield, going to be KO'd by the Conquer. And right now, it's going to be clear skies for FURT. They're getting damage here up on the Brawler. Second goalie barrier goes down as well. Dario fully rotated on the defense, which means that all the space in the world to work with here for the two forwards of FURT, able to get their second set here. And I'm scared if I am COYO here. This upcoming draft could potentially mean quite a bit depending on how the draft order lines up. And, well, the bulk up is the thing I'm looking at right now.
Bulk up is like one of the best awakenings, if not the best awakening in the game, but you do have the size, so I think that, yeah, the size is going to end up going for the Conquer. Now, whether it's a mistake or not, you can ask any NAST brawler, you might get different opinions, but I think that it's a reasonable pick. I think the team player is another one that you really look at. This map isn't as open, so you won't get as much value, but I still think just regardless, this awakening is so good on goalies, and we'll see how much it helps out here. If that's the missing piece that COYO needs.
Mm-mm. Just taking a look at the stats here for a second as well, right? 130 power on this Aimi is going to be actually quite difficult for the now to contend with, I think. Right now, the Conqueror is just, yeah, also another issue to contend with in its own right.
Yeah, I mean, really nice.
By the way, yeah, or sorry. I'll let you go.
No, really nice job. Sorry for the pause there. Really nice job by the FURT squad. Just really consistently putting on so much pressure on Beazle, and it's just not able to be contested at all. But double barrier for COYO. They kind of had an opportunity here. They scored 0 points the first set, 1 point the second. Maybe they'll go for 2 this set, and then after that, maybe they can come back.
Yeah, true. They might be able to on the fourth set here. Wow, actually a really good strike war by the Conqueror. It's a good preemptive flip comes through. Now Ripstick forced to blow his own, keep the play going. Oh, but the flip now in front of the Conqueror, not intercepted in time. Beelzebub, no cooldowns to deal with it here. And 2 flip expended, but a point gained for the side of FURT. COYO now, a bit of an uphill battle.
Yeah, no, it's been an uphill battle for them. Really nice job from FURT. FURT has just been playing better all around, both core control and the damage / KO department. They have just been doing a fantastic job, really putting the nail in the coffin with that one. Just one more to go for FURT to take game 1 here. And I mean, if I'm Koyo, it's probably not good to start thinking about what you need to do better next game. But you know, it's starting to get to that point where you know you're about to lose this game, and you know, I don't know how comebackable this one is. I'm gonna be real. The Awakenings are pretty doomed as well. Even if they get a set win, I don't know. It's not looking great. But I mean, hey, that's a good start right there from Daru.
Yeah, really good hero play from Dario. Able to get 1 point, uses his flip to do so, and that's a quick point for the side of Koyo. You want a few more of those, maybe nab away the set, but yeah, like you mentioned, it's a bit tough here. Angle Senpai on the Aimi, right, has the flip. The Conqueror building towards his as well, so unless you have something worked out, something clever or lucky in the wings, it's going to be incredibly difficult to deal with, especially this damage coming out from the X, from the Aimi is just immensely hard to deal with, it feels.
Something I've noticed is FURT has done a lot better job than Koyo this game at maintaining like a triangle. And I think even on closed maps, a lot of teams like to go into their little line formation, but I think it's still important to get that triangle. It's a really nice job. I believe it was a dash flip just to confirm the KO as well. And it also takes out the flip and kills the goalie, which is huge, and a really nice job from the side of Ripstick and Co. The first squad to take game 1 here in week 3 of NAST.
Big game at that, right? 11 minutes. It really felt like these points were very quick, even though there was some fight coming up from Koyo. It really felt like the Conqueror and Angle Senpai were able to convert on a lot of opportunities. Not only that, too, right? The minute that some defense would show up, the KO pressure started coming in as well, especially in that last set. I feel like we saw Dieselbug die a lot on the goal line just because of the kind of the space that Angle Senpai and the Conqueror were taking. So that's a bit to come back from. We'll have game 2 coming in just a moment, unless we have any parting thoughts here from Mappa.
No, I mean, really nice job from the FURT squad here, the Wee's little FURTs to take game 1. Hopefully for my team that doesn't become a recurring trend in our game 2. But you know, anything can happen. Let's see.
We'll be right back. And we're back. We're back here on Splash Zone. Sun's out, guns out. It's an Among Titans start, and everyone's going to be running around a little fast, but what's also going to be fast, I think, is going to be the core. I'm looking at this midfield matchup here. Rune versus Juno here on the open maps of Inky Splash Zone. A bit of an immobile brawler as well here. Conqueror once again recuperating his role here on the X. And I'm interested to see how this will go. I think that things like 1-2 punch, hot shot, cooldown, going to be very big this game, even more so than they already were.
Well, 1-2 punch was one of the starting awakenings. You know, I think that X could have probably gotten away with just getting the double size from even at the cost of the speed, but it looks like the Conqueror wants the speed here on the open map. I'm not saying I'm the greatest fan of it, but we'll see. You know, maybe he knows something that I don't. You know. Whoa!
Wow.
Kill that Noble Fortress there. See if they can score in this power play though, because if you can't score, okay, there you go. If you can't score in that power play, it's a little bit embarrassing, but they are able to get it.
Yeah, cool KO. Yeah, coming up from Beelzebub, a bit of a serendipitous KO found on Angle Senpai, and that's going to be a point. Notably, 2 level 2s here on the side of Koyo. Going to be a very big. The Banish and Kazan second form, incredibly big power spikes for the characters. So things will only be getting harder here for the side of FURT, especially if they don't quickly end this set again. And going into it as well, right? Another Banish comes through, and you mentioned that you had some thoughts here on the rune pick. You mentioned that Julak does like going this, but it wasn't something that you particularly thought of. Instead, something that might have some mixed results.
Well, I think the rune's actually really good against X in general, but I also think that rune isn't like the greatest on open map. If you're gonna pick him on open map, this is probably the best one, but it's like it's not the greatest pick on this type of map. So it's definitely not something I suggested, but Julak is very comfortable on it. So he's just trying to put on Shanzi cosplay out here. All good.
Truth. Tried to do it last game with the now as well, just didn't go too well. So looking to maybe do that on another character, but for now, a good strike from Beelzebub is going to actually keep that barrier defended. And once again, right, the kind of the name of the game, I think, is going to be scaling here. The X kind of makes that a question in every game that he's in, but again, right, wanting to get that hot shot, wanting to get that core speed no matter who you are. Unfortunately, Julek passing away. A watery grave awaits for him. Flip comes out from Angle Senpai, sends it in the top right corner.
Did he walk into that? I don't think he got hit into that. I think he was just not paying attention.
Dang, that sucks.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I mean, he is level 3, so, you know, he's playing his teammates real quick here, but... Oh, really nice mix-up from Dara to pick up that barrier. I mean, playing gold on this map is actually the worst. You get mixed up so easily, and a really nice job from the side of COYO to tie up. This is the first set they've actually gotten 2 points in, by the way, this series so far. So, might be their first set win, hopefully.
Looking forward to that. Looking for a little life coming out from COYO, but for now, they got to deal with the X Maximus. Julak already going to be staggered here, almost taken out by a friend fling. As Angle Senpai trying to get the core. Good banish comes through, which now means that it's going to be an open net for the side of Wee's little FURT. The Tofu Forge comes out, an opportunity here for Daru, but not going to be capitalized upon. Julak now has to play defensively, has to really respect what the Conqueror can do in this situation. As now Daru has a flip to work with. Oh, an unfortunate whiff means that Ripstick's going to be able to use his to get it clear as well. X Maximus comes through the bull rush, not able to find too much, but Daru now going to pay the price for his sins, going to be taken out. Beelzebub now has to make this way work, but unfortunately, this over-aggression now means that he's not going to have any resources for this defensive play. The Conqueror now able to get the core forward, but unfortunately he's going to be stopped immediately here by a rune banish. Daru going to be back up again now in overtime, which means that both this rune and Juno have now become exponential threats. Flip as well, not to mention a good pass off that core flip. Daru seeing the angle, knowing what he's got to do, sends it right there into the bottom side of the map. And like you mentioned in the previous game, right? The team that formed the better triangle usually won the point, and it felt like this time COYO was able to do that.
Yeah, it really felt like they were more on the front foot this game. Really nice job. But I always want to say that we were talking about the Shianzu cosplay. That was a Shianzu cosplay pass if I've ever seen one. Threading the needle with the core flip. Really nice job from COYO. Interesting that the glass cannon taking over the CTL or the timeless on the rune. I know that size on creations is actually really good on more open maps like this because it lets you cut off things that you wouldn't normally be able to cut off. But I think the glass cannon, the idea is because it's open map, the speed is good. But I'm not sure how favorable I'm in. I'm a glass cannon fan myself, by the way. Like, I know a lot of people don't like taking it on forwards. I personally think it's usually fine on forwards, but I'm not sure if this is one of the spots I would take it.
Right, I'm almost wondering if he took it for core speed.
Yeah,
like yeah, like no 1-2, no hot shot potentially in that draft, but definitely weird taking it first pick. Like you mentioned, I mean the timeless rate really doesn't do too much on anyone except the Asher, so really interested to see. Really curious as to why, yeah, Julek ended up picking that. We'll see. I'm sure that Julek might have some thoughts in Twitch chat. You know, I'm predicting the future here, but as we go on, wait, actually, don't say that, Julek. I'm talking to you in the past because that's a spoiler. Don't talk about it until it's done. Don't spoil the game. But right now, though, it's gonna be Conqueror looking to play spoil sport here on Beelzebub, who just used the flip. No defenses here, but a good banish now gives a lot of breathing room. Whoa, sorry. It looks like Angle Senpai getting fridged by Mr. Inky himself there out in the corner, and that means that's going to be all too easy for Julak to get that goal.
Angle, if you're in the Twitch chat, go say hi to Julak for me. But really nice job from, oh, what a flip. That was almost a barrier again. And I mean, it's really hard for Ripstick to continuously play against this. Both forwards playing on the open side of the barriers, and Asher wants to play a more closed defense, so it's just really difficult as the Asher to play against, especially because of how much they are just passing it around to each other. And then also going for the hit side, but really nice job from the Conqueror looking to actually score back here. They're going to do it and bring it to 1-1. They're not going to let this game go easily. And that's kind of what you need to do as the Conqueror. You need to make the most out of your best, the most out of each situation you got, because you're not going to get as many situations, I mean, or like as sequences like as the enemy team is. So really good job.
Agreed, and good timing on the top spin from Daru. Now going to mean that this is potentially a goal. Yeah, immediately capitalized upon the pull into flip. Means that an 11-second goal is going to go the way of COYO, and it feels like a complete reversal of fortunes from the previous game.
Yeah, that core flip splitting the Red Seas there. I love it when you can get the knockback on both the midfielder and the goalie, and putting them in both awkward situations and then striking in between them. It's really hard to play against that. So Beazle also took momentum boost this game, which is different from last game. He took strike shot last game. I know it's something he's been practicing other gears over strike shot every game, and it's looking pretty good this game. I wonder if it's something to consider about in potential game 3.
Oh my God.
I shouldn't be talking about a game 3 just yet, as a lost strike lord to the Blavo happens even to the best of us.
Yeah, WChat GPT, that's an N dash. That's an N dash strike right there.
Actually, I think that Blavo was actually controlled. I don't think it would have striked on that timing if it wasn't forced.
Yeah, that makes sense actually. Now that like I'm replaying it in my mind palace, you know.
Yeah, all good.
Movie theater. Yeah. Okay. 0.5 though here in this set. It's gonna be big. A good log though from Beelzebub actually makes up for that missed strike. Pillar goes down. Doesn't find too much value now. Conqueror able to get it. As Daru now tasked with a very difficult task of making it through. It's gonna be flip on flip here from the Conqueror. Almost dies. Almost kills Beelzebub off of that and narrowly escapes. But Julek gonna be the one here on the chopping block potentially. Good strike from Daru means that the potential advantage is here. Flip not there fast enough. Vanish gonna whiff as well. The flip goes over to Daru. The splash is here. The top spin is there as well, but Ripstick, good presence of mind in that situation. Able to understand Daru's game plan before it happens. Pass comes through from Angle Senpai. Julak able to avoid the bull rush. Now gonna be a full 2v2 situation here in the net. Overtime now here. Gonna be very scary on this open net for two melee goalies, and Daru gets a good pass from Julak. A bit of deja vu from the previous set, and COYO make out of this set like bandits.
Yeah, I think that overtime hitting right then also made that court speed a little too fast for Ristic to get up to the top there. And I think if Ristic was able to hold on a little longer, they would have had the water cannon. And I think with water cannon, it was going to be very favorable for them after, that spot with them being with COYO being unable to score with their own. But really nice job from COYO not giving up just because their water cannon didn't work, and just putting it in before the water cannon on the side of the Weasel first came through. Interesting job though, the 1-2 punch on the Juno though, we were talking about it. That core speed is now there.
Yeah, and looking on the flip side as well, extra special actually passed up by Julak. I feel like nowadays it's incredibly good on the runes, considered one of his best awakenings. But instead opts to the prime time, just wants some midfield core control potentially. More opportunities to play make around Angle, who now has that 1-2 punch, that core speed, which can be very hard to deny, especially without the prime time. So it makes sense why he picked it. We'll see if it pays off though.
I think it also denies Asher. I think Asher really wants that prime time, especially not rapid fire in the game anymore.
You're right. You're so right. I still don't forgive RTF. And that makes a lot of sense. I wasn't even looking at it. It makes sense that they just kind of trade places. Yep, makes sense. 1 point here.
Prime time has never been bad on Rune. Let's get that clear.
Yeah. That's true. Also true. Also true. Yeah, that makes sense why they went back.
No worries. And we're gonna, a really nice first point. If they're gonna come back, this is the type of thing you need from Weasel FURTs. You want these points where the core control isn't just overly dominated by COYO, and they've done a great job in the last few points, especially last set. It was very close because they were able to at least contest the core a little bit more and have opportunities, and that's kind of what they're going to want to do here going into set 3 and beyond.
Yeah, absolutely. Momentum boost actually though allows Beelzebub to reach that core in time. Flips coming up for Angle Senpai though, as well as Beelzebub. Could potentially be some core flip action. Yeah, one goes down here, but actually gonna be blocked away. Daru on the other side losing his recovery. Drone log comes through as well. Conqueror just looking to create a bit of a distraction. Not gonna find too much value, but the corner of the splash zone. Beelzebub forgot that it was a threat, and unfortunately has to pay for that with his life, his goal, and his flip. A bit of a boon here for FURT.
Yeah, I was looking at it. I was like, how close is he gonna get? Because this is one of the easiest ways to die on goalie on this map. I actually played in a in-house with them maybe a few weeks ago, and I was killing Beelzebub on the same thing as Juliet. I think I probably killed him like 3 or 4 times, and it looks like it's still a bad habit for him. So maybe we'll talk about. But I mean, Ripstick walks into the water cannon. I think he secondaried the wrong direction into the water cannon, but it was so fast. I actually don't know what happened.
I think that's what happens. I feel like the Inky mind control sends its regards there. Gonna be a bit of an issue, yeah, going forward.
People have a lot of fun on that little corner and thought it would be.
Yeah. Wait, that was crazy. I think he was flipped into the path splitter, and I don't think he had even the opportunity to evade that. Maybe he did, but if he did, I didn't see it. So unfortunately, Daru, the airship's gonna be sending regards. A lot of letters really coming out at this point right now as the top spin comes through. Gonna be defended away though by Ripstick, the Conqueror now. Uses the X Maximus, tries to get a cheeky strike, but isn't gonna find it. Good defense by Angle Senpai, but Ripstick is going to be anchoring that play. Pass splitter comes out again. No. That's
at least it wasn't match point yet, right? It doesn't feel as bad. It was like, okay, we get a holder flip, we're good, you know. But that could have been a lot worse if it was just a point, you know, later.
Yeah. Well, luckily though, Ripstick does preserve his flip for this point, which is even more crucial. Gonna use it there to get the core upfield. Angle Senpai a potential opportunity. No, 2 members here of COYO now able to respond in time. Beelzebub striking it forward, getting it through, playing very aggressively, mind you, with this extra move speed. Feels like he's been using it incredibly this entire game so far.
Oh, the banish.
Ooh.
He was in the goal zone, so he doesn't get locked out, and it ends up not mattering. But that could have been dangerous on the Julak point blank banish on that goalie there. But now it's not gonna be up for a bit, so you know, if they can just get this water cannon up soon, they used it once, but they just need to defend until they can get this again, I think, or at least put pressure so COYO can't take their barrier. We'll see what happens though.
And feels like COYO might have an opportunity soon. I think the pressure is on for Conqueror to get this in because there are going to be 2 flips coming up soon. It's going to be one from Daru, another passing through. Oh, the flip for the Conqueror almost gets the angle again, but it's not.
The water's going to come up soon, though. The water's going to come up soon. Oh, it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
Super tense point, though. It looks like, you know, the ways you would normally score are being defended so well, but because they're being defended, no one's having the, you know, the spacing or the abilities for the just the casual strike in, you know, and that's kind of what happened there. The team player going on this map is actually huge. I think it might very well be game altering for this Asher to get that on this open map. It's a lot different than it is on closed maps. On open maps, you're basically always wanting to clear to an ally if you can, and team player is going to be like that. I think that the size going to the X is also kind of big. Daru taking the fight or flight instead. It is really good on closed maps. I mean, on open maps though. So I get it. I do wonder how much though, if it's worth giving the Conqueror though that extra size.
We'll see in just a second. As right now, both barriers actually going to go down. Daru, bit of a fancy play, but unfortunately the goalie barrier is not up yet. Water cannon's here. Wow! Just taps it right in. Perfect amount of size to do that. And Angle Senpai on the flip side as well, gonna get got by Mr. Inky himself.
Yo, what's the 3rd map, by the way? A little early to say, but what's the 3rd map?
Actually, yeah, I'm not sure. I forgot. It was told to us by production earlier, and I completely forgot. So, yeah, we'll see. It's a mystery. It's a bit of a cliffhanger. We'll see. Well, you see when we get to that point, though. Because right now, we are marching closer, though. As COYO does feel like they have the momentum on their side, and it feels harder and harder to lock Daru out of his scoring opportunities here, especially because, I mean, look at it again, Beelzebub, look at where he's standing. He's playing so confidently, so aggressive, setting his forwards up for success in so many opportunities because he's really just allowing Julak and Daru to walk forward, playing that pseudo midfield position with that move speed. And right,
it was the glass cannon. It was the glass cannon that scored there. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh my god, and
Oh,
that judo core speed's a bit scary, but unfortunately it kind of bites back actually. The Conqueror's gotta have to score here. Unfortunate misplay here though. Means that
there's the water, no.
yeah, the water comes
And
out.
he had a flip, he had a flip. Oh
Oh my god, I think that was a score, but the Conqueror was actually the one to defend
no!
that.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
all brawlers are beautiful.
Beautiful, they're beautiful.
Yeah, they're all
Yeah.
beautiful.
Oh, flip comes through from Ripstick to take out Daru, who has to play very defensively, but Julak, the glass cannon movement speed, puts him where he wants to be. Yep, not even the Among Titans, it's the glass cannon, exactly where he needs to be at exactly the right moment. And they're going to be taking, Koyo specifically, is going to be taking Inky's Splash Zone. And we're going to be marching on to game number 3 here in the series.
Yeah, I believe that was their map pick, so really good job from them as well. We can look at the post-game stats here. I think that really nice. You know, I was a little skeptical, but on the rune pick, but I do understand that it's really hard for Asher to play against, especially on that map, against that rune. Being able to cover so much of the player options and, you know, really making it work. The 5-4 scoreline, not only scoring but also able to assist on 4 of those as well. But, you know, I think at the end of the day, what really matters is that Ripstick has 27 orbs to be equal to 5. So I'll have to give him a little talk between games. But really nice job from COYO to take back a game and, you know, bring us to game 3.
Can you think about it though, the difference between those two orbs? Really, one of them was Angle Senpai versus Julak. You see here, right? Both brawlers the same amount of orbs, but Julak getting a little greedy there with the 15, you know, and even though you can play,
snake, you know, a little snake.
yeah, like you can play Beelzebub for the 1, but the other, that's the midfielder, AMAS,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of a midfield snake, but let's not get carried away any longer. Let's go into our game 3 in just a moment.
Alrighty, we're in game number 3 of COYO versus Wee's Little FURT. Both teams have had pretty strong showings in their map selection so far, and they'll be duking out here on the Gates of Obscura to end off the series here. Both forward duos here kind of picking up roles or characters that they are known for here, and we're getting a little bit of back and forth as already. It looks like Angle Senpai and the Conqueror are taking shots at the enemy forward duo, but taking a look at a second, we've got a monumentalist start taken by the Atlas, the Rune, as well as the Dubu, whereas X, Aimee, and Rasmus have all picked up Sparks respectively.
Yeah, I think the sparks are pretty important, but with leadership, but I don't think they're actually, like, leadership is particularly amazing in this current meta, so it might be possible to actually just ignore it if you're not like one of the sparkers, but you kind of don't want to give it to the leadership plus agility. Agility is probably the worst spark individually, but even with leadership, giving everyone like a little bit of speed can be annoying. But I mean, right off the bat, we got a point and almost a second point for COYO right here. It's kind of interesting. As I said that, I kind of jinxed it. Kind of interesting point though is Atlas being picked for Ripstick, meaning it's his third different character in 3 games. Everyone else has played the character they're playing on this computer screen right now in at least one of the games, I believe. So kind of cool to see that.
There's a little bit of a difference here too in the goalie playstyles, right? Big thing to look at: Pauldron's Dubu versus the Atlas again. Ripstick picking up those momentum boots. So I think we're going to be seeing a bit of a more aggressive playstyle from Ripstick, already looking to walk up in these situations, whereas Beelzebub is looking to kind of stand on top of his berry. But right now, oh my gosh, the Conqueror shows us a little bit of X lore right now. Gets a double KO. Daru though trying to defend, but oh, it's actually an ace here. Angle Senpai gets the glitch pop and the goal, and well, even though they got the first point, it looks like Wee's Little FURTs are looking good, looking to get the momentum back here in the first set.
Yeah, it's not what you want to see, especially in the level aspect. The levels are going to be really disjointed now with that triple KO, the ace there coming in, and a 1-2 lead in this first set, in this crucial first set. I think in any elimination game, the first set is incredibly important. And we were talking about this statistically speaking, at least in Nassau, if you win the first set, you have roughly a 70%-ish chance to win the entire game. So it's very important. And a KO on Julak is not going to do them any better here.
Because I think even here in Nasty, right, teams are just good enough for drafting. That draft advantages mean a lot. So yeah, I agree with you. That first set can mean quite a bit, and it's gonna go the way of actually Wee's little FURT. It's Beelzebub not able to get that flip, doesn't have the range on it, which means that I believe the Conqueror is gonna be MVP in the situation that he is. Full X profile banner, I just realized, and he's gonna have a bit to pick here, and by a bit I mean Big Fish.
Yep. Team player is something to look out for, though. Team player is something to look out for, and the first goalie to be in the selection is going to be Beelzebub. So we'll see if it's going to be denied here. It will not be denied, and I think that is a huge pickup on. I personally think it might be the best awakening in the game on this map. But Atlas getting the Twin Drive is another thing to look out for. We'll see which one is stronger: Twin Drive Atlas with Monumentalist, or will the team player on Gates of Obscura be stronger? And obviously Conquer getting the double spark is a little bit scary as well.
Yeah, one thing as well, right? Ripstick opting into picking Twin Drive over the missile propulsion. I feel like that's sort of a personal preference, as far as I understand, right? Whether or not you prefer one or the other. But notably on the other side, 2 sparks for this X, which means that the scaling can potentially be very dangerous, especially if a third comes his way. Even though Spark of Leadership, right, not particularly useful for stat sharing, getting that third spark with a Spark of Power and Agility can mean a lot for this X. So here's hoping that...
I mean, likes the speed and agility too, so I'm sure that you will not be complaining.
Yeah. No, absolutely right. But it's the 3 spark power spike for the X, I think, is going to be very big.
Yep.
And yeah, so as of right now, the Conqueror looking to take a lot of punishment, but he'll be dishing it out very soon in draft if he is able to get MVP again, which as of right now, core control is mostly gone the way of Angle Senpai, so that might not be what you want to see if you are the side of FURT. That being said, maybe one barrier is going to go down. That's XP for the Conqueror. Flip comes through from Daru, not going to find what he wants. Ripstick, though, unfortunately just misses the angle, but Angle Senpai finds a KO on a Julek in the flip side. The flip comes through. A good dribble by the Conqueror gets Beelzebub's flip. The nerves here of game number 3 now in full effect. Glitch Pop comes through, doesn't get the pass over to Conqueror. Daru with an opportunity, not able to find the shot that he needs. Banish comes through now, ends the offensive play before it starts for the Conqueror. Angle Senpai now gets the core forward, gonna be blocked by Julek, but the Conqueror receives the pass. The X Maximus dribble is so scary, but it's gonna be defended away again. Now Pillar comes through, almost catches Angle Senpai sleeping, but Angle Senpai able to do it, get it cleared. A good Glitch Pop pass comes through. No, not what you want to see. Ripstick, unfortunately, really doesn't want to clear into Daru, and unfortunately there's just no way that you can clear it topside, and that's a point over for Koyo.
Well, for the Koyo knowers, that's what we call in the business of the King Boo Gambit. Doesn't work out. I think other people might know it as the Sophia strike on the Atlas, but you know, all good.
Freaking
The KO and the Atlas also gonna come out late as well. Unfortunate, and we'll see if they can make anything on this power play. But so far it's been kind of slow. They're actually almost gonna lose a bear out of it.
Yeah, it's freaking Ratatouille moment. As soon as you said like Sophia, I was like, yeah, that is the Sophia, isn't it? Dang, for those old heads who know. But yeah, as of right now, yeah, the power play, like you mentioned, kind of taken away. Julek finally gets one when the power play is over, but they're gonna immediately lose one. So right now, Angle Senpai a little bit worse for wear. Does get the second barrier, but might have to pay for it with his life. Ripstick a good secondary there, using the Monumentals to its full effect, blocking any sort of play that Daru is going to want here. A bit of a misclear though from Ripstick means it's going to be an open net. Julek now using the pillar to get it through. Strike goes up to Angle Senpai, but Julek with possession of the core sends it to Daru. This is a bit scary. Flip comes through from Julek right to Daru. The flip comes through. Wow, right through the Aimi turret. Perfectly timed. And that's going to be a 2-0 lead for Koyo here in the set.
Yeah, as you said, if that flip comes out a little later, I think the Aimi turret does pick it up, but the windup on the Aimi turret is a little bit longer. And at the end of the day, it was a really nice flip. And the core flip from Beelzebub is going to come out a little early, and now Conqueror's a flipping. not much that Beelzebub can do about it except throw a long and say no. Conker's taking a lot of damage here. It's another thing to look at here.
Yeah, and this rune pillar is going to be used to actually just interrupt this banish
here's
coming
the
through.
back.
Yeah, that's a dead
There it
X. Yeah, now it's going to be a power play. Good pull from Daru. Takes advantage of Rip 6 patience. Flip going to be there. Angle Senpai, really good striking though. Really good core control. Delays this play a lot. Allows himself to actually get the flip as well. Daru now has to play very defensively. This X Maximus could be very scary and stuff in such a second, but Beelzebub, good use of the Pauldron's damage, actually playing a bit of defense here. Daru with the pull comes through. Not going to be the angle that he wants, but Ripstick a good sword angle now, able to get the clear. Strike from the Conqueror actually wins, but not what you want to see. Very unfortunate. As now we're going back into the neutral a little bit here. The Conqueror able to find the core speed though. His foot comes through. No!
No! I mean, unfortunate. We're just gonna say the monumentalist side, Atlas secondary might throw some people off or something. I don't know. That's gonna be my excuse. But really nice job from COYO bringing back the set. We are now tied at 1-1 apiece. It is now a best of 3. The glass can's gonna come out again from Julak. He doesn't care. He's the madman. I think this game, the IME has been harassing him a little bit more, so we'll see how long he's able to keep those stacks up. But also the spark of leadership denied from the Conqueror. Conqueror will not be becoming the mayor today, but is able to get the minor classes, so it's not all that.
Yeah, that's actually a really, honestly, really disturbing deny coming out. Really, like, that's exactly the position you want to be as a 2-Spark X, right? That forced double deny on the Spark, which means that no sparks left on the table, right? It's going to be hard to actually find usages for those sparks. They're okay individually, but they're certainly not power spikes. But and you're able to get Might Colossus anyways. I think the Conqueror is incredibly strong right now, and I think Senpai as well is a little bit strong with that dash pickup. But we'll see though. Ripstick's got to hold these situations though, and it's not going to matter if the core is going to sail right by him, and it's going to be up to the Conqueror and Angle Senpai to convert before Daru and Julak find a bit of a gap in the armor, which they've been able to exploit very well recently.
I mean, is Twin Drive Atlas fake? We'll find out today, but really nice job. Oh, core flip right in the middle, but it's not going to find anything. I will say the health bars are very low, so even if they're able to defend this, I can't see this going too well for COYO, and we'll see though. The double banish is going to be pretty timely, allowing them to immediately go into offense, but the Julak is going to die. That's probably going to be a goal pretty soon.
Yeah, wow, that glitch pop setup on the bull rush actually defended away by Beelzebub. Good use here. Angle Senpai. Oh!
You can't pass in that spot, Daru! Cutting it perfectly. I was talking to this guy in warm-up. You just gotta cut the pass. Don't think too hard. All you gotta do is cut the pass, and that's exactly what he does. Really nice job. Saves. Potentially could be a game-altering moment for COYO.
Yeah. It feels like there's a couple very key unforced blunders coming out from FURT, and it potentially could cost him the series here, as it feels like the Game 3 pressure is really starting to mount up. Good layering on the strikes, though. Is, wow, Beelzebub almost gets a nasty KO there on the dude.
I don't think it would have been a KO. I think he would have gotten into the portal, and I don't think he was moving at the angle that was lethal. But it's still nervous as hell to play against that, that's for sure.
Yeah, agreed. And there's potentially some portal plays that come through. 2v2 situation here. Actually going to get defended away by Ripstick and Angle Senpai. Julak, a very, very good defense, even though, or good evade, even if nothing ended up landing there. Daru with the flip, and the X Maximus is going to be gone here. This X not going to be all too powerful, just quite a really smart pillar from Julak, though. Gets it sent up as Daru. It's going to be cleared away nonetheless. Log comes through, defends away the flip. A second flip comes out by Ripstick, tries to snag that bottom of the remaining goalie barrier. Not going to find it, though. Flip comes through from Daru, gets the second one. It's going to be an open net again. Flip from Beelzebub, intercepted by Angle Senpai with the Tofu Fortress now. It's going to be there. Oh, and Angle Senpai has walked into a log. That is not what you want to see. It's going to be up to the Conqueror here to block the pass, and that pass is actually blocked. He's going to have to pay for this play with his life, potentially. Going to be walking around staggered. Atlas Revive is there. Not going to find too much value, or sorry, not going to find too much value off the passing play, however. As Daru, 1v1 opportunity defended away by the twin drive, passing through the portals. We're looking at a Valve game right now as the X Maximus come through, but it's core speed. Yeah, from the team player on Beelzebub comes through in overtime, takes the set for COYO, and COYO are looking good. That was a hectic point, but COYO come out on top, and Beelzebub potentially his pick of the litter, looking like size.
I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a monumentalist Dubu get this much value out of vlog. I've not only the kills have been coming through as we saw in that last set from it, but so many core flips have just there's been no angles around the log because it's so big. So I think this is kind of crazy. Like I'm usually like a timeless Crater Dubu fan, and I'm not a huge fan of Moni because it can break your ult sometimes and stuff. But you know, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try it. You know, maybe people has the hidden sauce. Yeah.
Yeah, and one thing as well, Spec Training actually not taken on the Conqueror, opts into the Heavy Impact instead, which I think is interesting. I never actually learned if Heavy Impact affects the strike.
Oh, sorry about that.
It's exciting.
And it does not anymore. It did at one point and it broke the game. Don't worry about that.
Okay, well, in that case, interesting to see him pick it over the specialized training. I guess looking for stagger KOs instead of dash punches. But
yeah.
Regardless, though, that kill on Angle Senpai is going to actually leave one barrier down for the side of Wee's little FURT. Good strike more from Julak, though. Catches the clear, and Daru able to follow up. COYO feels like they have all the momentum now coming through. So it's going to be 1 point up, 2 more. And if that goes the way of COYO, that's going to be series.
Yep, I mean, if you're a Wee's FURT fan, you gotta lock in here. This is you know, this is the most important set. I think you need this set to regain that momentum you had from the first game, and it's just really looking bad. You've lost what, I think 7 straight goals in a row. They've scored 7-0 on a 7-0 run right now. COYO. This is like this isn't just losing 2 sets. This is losing 2 sets 2-0. I mean 3-0. It's not what you want to see.
Yeah, and that momentum is definitely powerful, especially in a game like OS. Momentum can really, really mean a lot. And if it's not regained here, and doesn't look like it is, COYO has an iron grip on this offense right now. Julak already preemptively playing by the portal. Angle Senpai able to get the core forward, but a double banish immediately by Julak. The KO found by the pillar. Flip can come through for Conquer. That it does. A flip and wait comes through this pillar. A little bit dangerous, but excellent patience actually from the brawler of Seraphim's Wee's little FURT. Sorry. Bit of a whoops. Yeah, and the Conqueror right now. It's what? Oh.
The same team name. Yep.
Yeah, it really is. It really is the same vibe. And you know what? Whether or not you're Seraphim or Weez, you're losing right now, and you got to make it come back right now. The Weez little mountain or Seraphim's mountain to climb. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's series point right here. Most important point of series. Can they close out on it? And I have to say that this team player pick, since this team player pick has been picked up, it's been 8-0. Was this really the pickup? I mean, okay.
It might have been.
Yep.
It might have been. Feeling like a team player. And as of right now, Ripstick here to defend potentially the last goalie barrier. He's going to get this series. The Conqueror going to find a good KO, though. Angle Senpai now with possession of the core. Pass back to Ripstick. Gets it over to Conqueror. But this iron wall that is Beelzebub, it's going to be very hard to get through the size Dubu. Very much coming in play there. Now the Conqueror has an advantage, has the flip to come through, doesn't actually get the core though before he needs to. Angle Senpai with the flip, probably going to be looking to use it, but it could be defended away by Daru. Or goes for the glitch pops there, going to be defended away by Tofu Fortress. Angle Senpai narrowly avoiding that banish as the X Maximus looks so dangerous. The flip doesn't come through, and now the forward of momentum here is all for COYO. The pillar comes through, takes that final barrier. An amazing play here by Julak. The flip comes through. Over to Daru, takes away one Atlas Expanse, but doesn't get the second here. Core travels around the world a little bit, but Daru, the team player, comes in clutch, sends it into the top side of the net. Ripstick not able to react, and COYO, after a devastating loss, game number 1, pulls it back 2 games in a row, and gets I think like you mentioned, a 9-0 streak to finish it.
I mean, who needs Hotshot Rune when you have Monumentalist 189 power because of 3-stack prize fighter plus fast cannon? You're hitting it a lot harder than a in a hot shot would. Really clean comeback from COYO after losing that first set. And just overall, they really looked once that team player came through, whether it was because whether it was correlated or caused by the team player. I feel like the COYO just never looked back.
And this series is a bit of a tone setter. I think both teams, I believe, were for 0-2 coming into this, now sitting at a very dangerous 0-3, right? Not much room for error going forward. You're done with a third of the regular season, right? All the narratives about, hey, it's just the start of the season, you got this whole path ahead of you, that narrative is now done and dusted. You are in the season proper now, and this is not the point where you really want to be going winless. And that's a big win for COYO, right? A 2-1 is significantly more respectable than a 1-2 at this point in the season. So that's going to put them in prime position to at least, scrape into some of those playoff contention spots. But yeah, if you are Wee's little FURTs, you're sitting at the bottom of the league right now, and you got to be wondering what you got to do to make it. Because you did have some dominant performance, right? That Tycho game looked amazing. They were getting so many KOs, so much pressure was coming onto Beelzebub. It really felt like Beelzebub did not have an answer to that. But as soon as it got to these other maps, it really felt like COYO was the team that was able to grab the momentum, able to keep the pace, and able to set the kind of game plan that both teams were focused on in these, in the final parts of the series. So props to COYO, right? Keeping that mental resilience after game number 1 and taking it. And that's going to give them that win. That's going to give them that 2-1 spot. I think the mental, just keeping it cool, making sure that you're playing your game, right? And that's a good place to be.
Yep. And don't go anywhere because I'm sure there's another match coming up on your stream in just a moment. But thank you guys for staying tuned for this matchup. And this was Applebug, and I think I was here with Mr. Brickbat. And yeah.
Yeah, get you guys around.